Imagine this. It's November 24th, 1971, and a commercial flight is cruising at 10,000 feet. Everything seems normal until a man calmly walks up to the flight attendant and hands her a note. That note isn't a love letter. It's a hijacking demand. He says he has a bomb in his briefcase. He's got a plan, and he's going to get away with it. His name? D.B. Cooper. But here's where it gets strange. This isn't your typical hijacker story. D.B. Cooper disappears without a trace, leaving behind nothing but questions. No one knows who he is, where he went, or whether he's alive today. It's a mystery that has baffled investigators for over 5 decades. On that fateful November afternoon, Cooper boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. He was dressed in a business suit, appearing completely ordinary. Nothing about his demeanor or appearance suggested that he was planning a daring hijacking. Once aboard, he sat quietly, ordering a bourbon and soda. He then handed the flight attendant a note, which she initially dismissed as a flirtation. But when she read it, she realized he was serious. The note said he had a bomb and was demanding $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel tanker to be standing by in Seattle. As the plane approached Seattle, Cooper's demands were met. The airline had no choice but to comply, worried about the safety of the passengers and crew. He released 36 passengers in Seattle, keeping only the flight crew on board, and then took off again with the ransom money and parachutes in hand. The plane was now headed for the wilderness, but D.B. Cooper had a plan, and he wasn't going down without a fight. At 8:13 p.m., as the Boeing 727 cruised over the rugged landscape of Washington State, Cooper instructed the remaining crew to lower the rear staircase. This is where things take a wild turn. Cooper opened the rear door, and in a daring move, he parachuted out of the plane into the pitch-black sky. The crew was left in shock, with no idea where he had gone. When the plane landed in Reno, Nevada, authorities found that the money had been accounted for, but D.B. Cooper was nowhere to be found. No fingerprints, no footprints, no sign of Cooper anywhere. It was as if he vanished into thin air. The mystery of D.B. Cooper's identity has sparked countless theories. Some believe he was a military man, possibly with skydiving experience. After all, jumping from a moving airplane in the dark isn't something most people would attempt without the right skills. Others have suggested he was a career criminal with extensive knowledge of how to plan and execute such a heist. One popular theory involves Richard McCoy, who carried out a similar hijacking just a year later, using the same method. Parachuting out of a plane after demanding a ransom. Could McCoy have been D.B. Cooper? While the FBI did investigate him, there was no definitive proof that McCoy was the man who jumped out of the Boeing 727. Another theory points to Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Orient Airlines employee. Christensen was known to have been familiar with the airplane and its layout, which could have given him an advantage. Some believe he might have used this knowledge to pull off the heist, but once again, no evidence has been found to conclusively link him to the crime. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history, scouring thousands of square miles across Washington state, but no sign of Cooper was ever found. The case remained open for decades, but the trail eventually grew cold. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case, though many still believe Cooper's identity will one day be uncovered. Over the years, there have been a few curious discoveries, such as a bundle of cash found near the Columbia River in 1980. The money was a perfect match for the ransom Cooper had demanded, raising hopes that the mystery might be solved. But again, there was no sign of Cooper himself. Despite the search, many questions remain. Did Cooper die in the wilderness after jumping from the plane? Or did he manage to escape with the money, live out his days in hiding, and elude capture for the rest of his life? The D.B. Cooper hijacking changed the way the aviation industry viewed security. After the heist, the airline industry took significant steps to increase safety measures. They installed reinforced cockpit doors, required better passenger screening, and implemented new protocols for dealing with hijackers. This case also led to a broader awareness of the potential for airborne crimes, influencing the development of modern-day aviation security practices. Without D.B. Cooper, we might not have the level of safety and security that we take for granted today when boarding a flight. Even after decades of investigations, the legend of D.B. Cooper endures. He became a symbol of the perfect crime, an outlaw who pulled off a high-stakes heist and then disappeared without a trace. The allure of his mystery continues to captivate people around the world. Books, documentaries, and podcasts have explored every aspect of the case, offering new theories and perspectives. But for all the theories and analysis, the truth remains elusive. Was D.B. Cooper an ordinary man who happened to get lucky? Or was he a master criminal who pulled off the ultimate escape? As time goes on, the story of D.B. Cooper remains one of the most fascinating and perplexing criminal cases in history. While it's unlikely we'll ever know the full truth about what happened that day, the mystery continues to live on in the public's imagination. Whether you believe Cooper was a criminal mastermind or just a man who got away with a perfect crime, one thing is certain: his story will continue to be told for generations to come. So, what do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Is he still out there, living in the shadows? Or did his plan end in tragedy? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping true crime mysteries.